right, good morning. Rochelle joined us. Hello, good morning, Edna. For those that are just joining in, please, this is going to be a very casual, interactive info session for our Ellies Teacher Travel Grant info session. The chat will be very live, so please interact with us, write us in the chat, tell us what school you're teaching at. We'd love to know. We know that Ania teaches in the Everglades, pretty much. We can't see you. For the attendees, we won't see you. It's more of, this is a webinar, but we can see your chat, so that's good. And once you're able to, once we go into Q&A at the tail end of this info session, we can unmute you so you could talk and ask the question. So, alrighty. Okay, so I'm gonna share screen now. Here we go. Oh, Edney, sorry. Edna teaches at Norman S. Edelcup Sunny Isle Beach. Oh, that's near you, Johnnie.
Okay.
Johnny's at Michael Crop, Aventura.
And Sunny Isles. Okay, good to know.
Yeah, good to know. All right. So I'm sharing screen. Can everyone see this? Yeah?
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, great. Well, good morning. It is about, I want to say 11:04. Happy Saturday. It's May 8th, 2027. I'm kidding. It's not 2027, but what is time? We are in 2021. Seems like an extended 2020, and we're still here on Zoom, sadly. So we could also talk about Zoom classrooms in the later part, just events.
I'm still trying to figure this platform out. But...
so anyway, my name is Esther Park. I am the VP of Programs at Oolite Arts, and this is our 4th Ellies. So for those that don't know, Ellies is named after our founder, Ellie Schneiderman, back in 1984. And lo and behold, we give out up to $500,000 a year in grants to individual working artists, and as well as teachers, art teachers, who are all joining us today. This slide here that I'm sharing with you is a show by the artist T. Elliott Mansa, who also happens to be a current Oolite resident. This past Ellie's winner. So we were able to support his exhibition that was currently up at the LNS Gallery in Coral Gables. This is another photo of a past Ellie's winner, Frankie Cruz, where he takes butterfly poop. I know there's like a scientific word for butterfly poop. It's like mescus, but anyways, whatever. Anyways, he uses butterfly extracts and paints with them. So this is not only an art project, but it is also a biology and science project, and we support that. We support that. This is Gabby Sarah. She is an artist and also works in social practice. Johnnie, you need to link up with Gabby.
Okay.
She is a botanist, an herbalist. She's a farmer.
All day.
And all day. And her project was she used indigenous traditional medicinal herbs, and she was able to create kind of tinctures and all sorts of really great kind of extracts, and did these like communal artist gatherings. So
wonderful.
We were also super
right up my alley. Yeah,
right up your alley. Right up your alley. And we were super excited to be supporting her. She was a past Ellie's winners as well. Oh my God, I'm blanking out. Is this Amanda, unmute yourself. What project is this?
In Childry at Emerson Dorsch.
Oh, Clifton. Shout out to Clifton. I feel like he's also a teacher. Or am I making that up? Anyway, so this was another great project that he was able to do with Ellies funding. So here we are. This is the Ellies. The most important information is the date, May 17th. That is the due date for all applications. That includes individual artist projects and teachers travel grant winners. Oh, this is the famous Ellie Schneiderman. She's there kind of right smack in the middle. This is her getting a proclamation. That is our dear founder who last year, transitioned to the other plane, but we are so grateful for her existence and her contribution to really just what we're doing now. I mean, without Ellie and her vision, who knows what would happen with the Miami arts community, but we are so grateful for her. And she lives on with these awards, so very happy for that. And that was the old Arts Center back Lincoln Road days. We love seeing these old pictures and how amazingly transformed Miami Beach has been. So quickly gonna go through the categories real quick. We have the Creators Award. Oh my God, that's me. A couple of our past Creators Award winners. Then of course we have the Teacher Travel Grant, which is this current info session we'll be discussing in detail. And these are our teachers that won 2 years back. We have the Michael Richards Award, which is not an open call, it is by nomination. It is named after this gentleman here, Michael Richards, who was an amazing artist that was taken away from us too soon. He actually was the only artist that passed during 9/11. He had a studio in the Twin Towers. He had a very active studio back in the day at Art Center, South Florida. And we are living his legacy with a one-time $50,000 unrestricted gift to Miami artists that have continued to really give back to our community. And fun fact, there's a huge Michael Richards retrospective currently up at the Museum of Contemporary Art in North Miami, MoCA. So please go and check it out. It is a beautiful show and it'll be up actually till end of September. So you have some time. Highly recommended for teachers to take their students for a field trip. Really great show. And then just last year, we inaugurated the Ellies Social Justice Award, which is a unrestricted gift of $25,000 to artists working in the community with sole purpose of social justice. This is also not an open call. It is by nomination by a selected jury. And last year, we were so proud to have inaugurated the one and only, yes, Vanta Black, Shire Reagans, who is well deserved. And we can't wait. Who can top Shire? I don't know, but the pressure is on for this year's Ellies Social Justice Award. So those are the 4 categories of the Ellies. And now we're going to be talking about the Teachers Travel Grant. So again, 300 words on where and why. Where and why? Where do you want to go and why? And of course, a CV. It's that simple. It really is that simple. And then the next steps, we're going to go straight into these 2 amazing folks. I'm going to stop share. We're back on the screen. Hello to the new folks that are joining us. So we got Johnnie Bess over here. Salute to Johnnie, who is not only a winner in the Teacher Travel Grant Award, but also an Ellies Project winner, because of course, many of our teaching artists is actually real artists as themselves. So we're really excited that Johnnie is a dual winner, and maybe he could share some magic of what happened on why he won.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. on 2 awards. And then we have Juana, who I guess has now just retired as a teacher altogether.
No, I mean, I do a lot of teaching. I just don't work for Miami Public Schools anymore, but I do a lot of teaching.
She got out of the system.
Yeah, she got out of the system. And now she's actually teaching teachers, right? Is
Right.
that, yeah, but Juana, you won the teacher travel grant the first year, right? Am I right?
The first year, yeah.
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 So I'm gonna kind of leave the floor to you two. I know there's some, I guess like personal experience. Maybe I'll start with Juana since she was one of our inaugural teacher travel grantees, and you actually got to travel. So if you want to tell us a little bit about your, like where you went, what you brought back, and then I know you have some photos that you want to share with the group, so that would be great.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention is that I was also a resident twice at Art Center as well, and so like, yeah.
Respect.
So there's a lot of history there. But yeah, so I'm actually just gonna share some images, and that way we can start there. Let me just share my screen here. Let me just say before I show you that as soon as I saw that the Ellies had this travel grant, and I was working at New World at the time, I'm really invested in artist books, and I did a lot of artist books work with my students in New World and outside of New World. So I knew that, like, just like, one of those things that you just like know in your bones. I'm like, I know I need to do something with artist books, and I want to do more for my students, and just connect them to that more, because they can share their narratives, more. Basically, they can just put their story out there, and I really believe in the power of like a narrative, right, and their own personal narrative. So that's where I knew that's what I wanted to do. So let me share my screen and show you some images as to oh wait 1 second, and here we go. And let me put this in presentation mode so you can see it. All right. So that's me in Berlin. And so what I did is I had met this guy from Moritz from We Make It. And We Make It is a risograph studio. So risograph is imagine like a huge copy machine. And actually you can see it here. It's much more than that. It's a stencil duplicator, meaning that you can make colored images and you can make editions. And and I knew that We Make It had these programs for students, and they worked with artists, and they just did so many different things. And I wanted to see how they did it, like how they operated, because I felt like even though I had this I had the students, and I had a way to get their narratives out and like be able to empower them to tell their stories. I wanted to do that better, right? And I knew that they had years of doing this better. And I also really wanted to get out of the US, because I had a sense for how we did it here, right? Like I'm originally from Colombia, and so I had also visited studios in Colombia. So I had this feeling, right? Like that I knew that he had been doing it better, or differently at least. And I wanted to learn more about that. And so that's why I decided, like I said, like I knew in my gut that this was exactly what I wanted to do, and why I wanted to go talk to him more, right? Because I had only met him once in New York, like for like half an hour, and we had emailed back and forth. So the first thing I did was I got on my email and I asked him, is it possible if I were to get myself to Berlin, right? Because I never, it's expensive, obviously. And so that's what this amazing opportunity is about. It's like, I thought, what is the most amazing place that I can go to? And that's what, I would love to go here, and I would love to learn how he works with his students. So that's what I did. And he wrote me back within like, I don't know, 2 hours, which is awesome, right? And he's like, of course, if you can get yourself here, I'll show you my space, which is like tiny, right? Like you can see this tiny space. So let me show you. Oh, so then I knew that I was going to go, right? And so I started making my own books. And this is very much the way that I work with my students, right? Like and I do this now also. I have always thought that, you don't need to be precious about what you're, how you're working. And what I mean by that is that, yes, if you have some amazing like watercolor paper, yes, use it, but also use like the scraps that are in your space, right? Like in your classroom. So this is, I'm sure you guys, recognize like this, great, like old grade book stuff, paper. I use dividers in this as well to make this little book. I think I have, oh, well, I'll show you later. But anyways, the point is that I just made this like little book out of nothing. And actually you can see this is the front of the book that has the plastic dividers and that sort of thing. And these are like old office stickers. This black paper, like literally, I think I probably picked it up off of the floor, So what I'm saying is that like, I was very much about using what was around me and yeah, making it as easy as possible also for my students. So he said, come, and there he is, there we are. And I really was interested in things like this, for example, like he had this mobile library, which I love these mobile libraries of books. And so these are the sort of strategies that I wanted to bring back for my students as well. Like, we can put these books together and they're available for to share with other people and other students and other teachers, right? Like the community. So I was really inspired basically by this trip to enable some of these strategies. And you can see like, there's my little tiny whatever book, right? And I say that in a way that what I mean by that is that it just doesn't, it can be anything, right? Like you can make this little book and this narrative is powerful. And that's really what I wanted to empower my students to understand, right? Like that they can make something small and then it can be additioned and it can be put into the world and that their story will live further, right? Will go further. So you can see this is part of the studio here, the scraps. These are actually the drums that go inside of the reso machine. I have a reso machine here in Miami. Obviously, I don't have as many colors as he does, but anyways, this is the studio. And you can see here, this is the interior of the studio. This is the actual machine itself, and we're running one of the pages from my sketchbook, and that was eventually put into the final edition that I made. So I also attended a couple of the workshops that he made. This grant was amazing because it made it possible for me to also learn more about Risograph as well, and that I could share with my students, that sort of thing. So it was really an amazing opportunity to be able to meet him and see how he did things, right? And then when I came back, just to kind of cut to the chase here for you guys, I brought these strategies back into my classroom. At the time, I was teaching 10th grade drawing as well as AP drawing, and no, I'm sorry, that was AP 2D that I used this strategy with. And they have to put together documentation of their progress. That's part of the AP requirement. And I use some of what I had learned in his studio to put together these books that then we photographed and we documented. And just to give you a peek into like how, like why is that important? I had one particular student that was really, there was a lot of food insecurity in her home. And, I was able to help her strategize and think about that narrative and give her a voice, and so that she could explore how this was affecting her, right? And so she would bring in like the Presidente, newspaper, discount things, and she started taking images from that and making these pieces and these collages. And so so this narrative starts to develop. And what I like about the format of the book is that it's much more, it's safer, right? It feels more personal. And she was able to figure this narrative out in a safer space, if that makes sense. And of course, it was a great place for her to develop all of this work that then she made much bigger and kind of formalized a little bit more. But I mean, I think these are stunning, honestly. Like, I love the way that she's using the thread and the collage materials and all of this kind of stuff. And you can see here, actually, these are literally like, we just hole punched. I have a special machine to hole punch, like a big one. And we had these, like the office rings to hold the book together. And these are just more of the books. But I really, and this is actually hers. And we made small ones as well. Like, we made a lot of different kinds of books, actually. And really what this experience just reinforced for me was that way of working that intuitively I trusted. This guy in the studio in Berlin was trusting also, right, for his students. And I can't tell you how empowering that is, right? Like, to see another educator that has kind of the same impulses to empower his students in Germany, right? And to tell their stories. And then it just gave me a lot more, I don't know, it just helped me to push forward, I guess. So anyways, this is another one of her pages. And these are some of the books that other students also put together. So yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of it. This is part of the one that I put together when I returned from some other scraps and some other things. And you can see the way that the reso page has been actually cut up and put into this. Yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, I had other plans, of course, to do more of the risograph and all of that this year, but that didn't come to fruition. But I do hope to keep going and make more editions for my students.
Yeah, they look amazing. I mean, they're just like beautiful art pieces. So thank you so much. Your trip looked amazing. And the projects that you brought to the classroom looked more amazing. So that's kind of the point and purpose. So Johnnie, if you want to come back to the virtual stage. And there you are.
In the back.
So you're back. So your experience, obviously, you didn't actually get to go because of a little thing called the little pandemic, no big deal. But I do think your project, I think your project was obviously a winning project. It got you the grant. And I thought it would be really great to share with the group how you were able to kind of weave in your personal story and how you're able to also bring this curriculum idea into your day-to-day teaching. So if you wanted to share that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Esther, and thank you very much, Juana. I appreciate your preparation. I have all my photos here on a desktop folder. Like, man, she has this clean presentation. Taking notes already. I'm gonna get your information and take that teacher training course. Again, I just wanted to share with everyone that I came to, working with Oolite and applying for the Ellies in a very just roundabout way. I have been working in Miami for at least 8 years now. I moved here from Washington, D.C., where I studied painting and drawing at Howard University and started my teaching career there as well. So I started with high school students and for a few years. And when I came to Miami, I started working with elementary school students and middle schoolers while also continuing my personal studio practice, continuing my just furthering my education, working as an arts assistant at a gallery in Wynwood. So I've maintained like a consistent studio and just personal development a space, along with my passion and developing curriculums in the classroom. Working with students is in an inspired way is I think a part of my my purpose in life, right? So 2 years ago, well, let me back it up a bit further. I studied painting, and I've been teaching 2D for all this time. And 5 years ago, I got back into ceramics. So I had a little bit of experience with that back in my school days, over 15 years ago. And I got back into it, and I was at a space where I was at a crossroads where I was trying to decide if I wanted to continue in the classroom. What is that going to look like, and what is my personal practice? That nagging question that we artists are constantly asking: what should I do? What does it mean? What does my work mean to me now? I was at one of those types of spaces, and that's when, through any number of serendipitous circumstances, I really picked up with ceramics again. Okay. And I found a new spark, just that flow, that energy, that passion was renewed. And I started to see draw new connections in the classroom, and how I can just communicate that same joy to my students, right? And a friend of mine asked me if I was familiar with the Ellies, with Oolite. And I guess I've been just so in my own zone, my own bubble. I live down south. I have 4 children. I wasn't spending too much time in the art scene and just socializing as much as I had in years past. So Oolite and Ellies, it was all new to me. And I think approaching the grant process like that, completely blank, completely blind, to really, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. I guess just all that the Ellies and that the organization represents. I wasn't intimidated by the grant writing process. My buddy let me know the deadline when I found out about the grant writing process was maybe a week out. And I have worked with nonprofit organizations over the years as well. So depending on the program you're trying to put together, what you're writing up, that process, just organizing your thoughts, getting the grant out, depending on how complex it is, can be intimidating for folks who specialize in that space, let alone artists who oftentimes are just like, in the work. So when I decided, hey, why not? Nothing to lose. So I went to Ellies, I went to Oolite's website, looked up the requirements for the grant. It seemed pretty straightforward, 300-word essay, a few images. So I approached it with, okay, I'm just going to go with this, following my joy. That's what ceramics represents for me right now. That's my intention and communicating that joy for learning to my students. So let's just go all in. Like Juana was saying, these opportunities are there for you to, not limit yourself, with ideal support. What would you do at this time? So the thought came to me was something very personal. Again, my approach in the classroom is, again, like, I'm an artist. I have a passion for this, and I have a passion for youth. You know, I connect with them on any a number of holistic ways, right? But that joy is a constant a theme. So I connected with my inner child. As a kid, I spent time in Iwakuni, Japan, from preschool to like 4th grade. Both of my parents were United States Marines, so I traveled all around throughout my youth. And those were my formative years, you know, preschool to 4th grade. I haven't been back to Japan since. I've traveled all over the world, but never been back. And that was something that just, you know what? If I could go back to that place and, you know, get a sense, I'm constantly emphasizing to my students, I'm currently working with magnet students, AP programs. They're doing a lot of work that's preparing them for college. So they're getting into higher level concepts, looking into just the underlying impetus behind the work, you know, exploring concepts of identity, among others. So I communicate how I'm exploring my own identity in my work and in imaginative ways via this process. So I put together the essay. I spent basically, and I want to emphasize this for those artists or those folks who have a little experience with the grant writing process. I didn't put weeks into it. I put 2-3 days, 2 days of really thinking about how to compose my words. You know, I connected with that joy. You know, what was that inspired thought? Going back to Japan, learning about that region. You know, why do I have such strong aesthetic or philosophical leanings in my work, and how does Japan relate to that? You know, and how is my growth over the years, you know, to my African identity, my African American identity, all these different layers of self, how do all these things blend together? And these are part of our conversations and critiques in the classroom, right? So 2 days of thinking about what I wanted to say. And then with the deadline approaching, I sat down, got my tea, got my pen and paper out, wrote out the essay, and just was very straightforward. Hey, you know, guys, help me knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. I'd like to go back to my childhood home, and I'd like to really explore this new craft that I'm really, that's just bringing so much joy to my life, ceramics. And in my new school, I had the opportunity to revamp their ceramics program, and what better opportunity than to get that program going with this kind of energetic flow, this kind of a passion, you know, that I can communicate with the students. And hey, help me knock out these 2 birds with 1 stone, please. Let's go to Japan, learn about their local styles of pottery, and I can develop a curriculum that, you know, just emphasizes, among other things, just cross-pollination, cultural literacy. You know, there's just, as educators, that's what it's all about, is creating those creative connections and painting a picture for our students. So I just wanted to share just a few images with you all. Now, as Esther was mentioning, I received this award last year. So as I was preparing for my trip to Japan, the pandemic descended upon us, you know, and I was immediately concerned about the prospects of that trip. And as it turned out, there has been a delay. But what has been really encouraging is Oolite, Ellies, they have been supportive, available, and understanding and patient the entire way. So that's on one level, right? So there's that constant communication. Hey, we understand what's going on. What can we do to support? Do you have intentions on pursuing this in the future? How can we be supportive of your intentions moving forward? That kind of consistent, just like, we're behind you despite the challenges. It's just been so encouraging. It's tremendously encouraging. Now, on my own end, I've been continuing research and developing the ideas behind the curriculum based on, the theme of this trip, the theme of the project, right? So I had a few images to share with you, just so you can see how I've been able to extract some value despite this challenging situation. So I'm going to see if I can get on, that's not what I'm looking for, share screen here, and share just a few images with you all. Okay, let's see. I have it. Now let's see if it'll actually do what I'm asking it to do. Hey, Esther, real quick.
Yeah.
I'm in video settings, but maybe I'm looking at oh, here we are.
You got it?
I think so.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Okay, so you all can
All
see my
right.
screen now, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So just a few images, right? This is, again, I got back into ceramics just a little over 5 years ago, and it just has brought a new spark into my work as an educator, as a studio artist, just as as a student of life. It's just like there's so much magic. You can approach it in so many different ways, whether you want to go into that technical space and chemistry, the alchemy of mixing glazes and those molecular sciences. That's a fun space. Or just the intuitive, if you're somebody like myself, more rudical, getting into the metaphysical, philosophical implications of working with the elements of earth, water, and fire. It's just a lot of fun, right? Real quick, this image here I wanted to share is of one of my favorite places in the world, Kintai Bridge in Iwakuni, Japan, right? So this is a space that we used to go to for seasonal festivals in Iwakuni. It's a castle town, and one of the fascinating things about ceramics in Japan is that each region has its own distinct style of pottery, right? There's so many different layers of specialization within the field. And Iwakuni, I learned, became famous for a style known as hagiware, right? Now,
Hey, Johnny,
hey.
Edna's asking if you could enlarge the image.
Ooh, if I can enlarge the image, let's see if I can figure that out.
If you could double click it maybe, and it comes bigger.
How's that? Can you all see it better?
No, I think we're only seeing your desktop.
Oh, wow.
Let's
see. I don't. Yeah, this is maybe it's just a small file photo. I'm not sure what you all are seeing on your screens.
Oh, Emily is requesting that she would suggest unscreen sharing, opening the images and preview, and then resharing. I mean, if not, maybe there's an opportunity where we could actually have these files and just like share it we could share it with the group on a separate website or something. That way.
I could dig that.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to a delay. So let me see if I can figure this out to get off of screen share.
I am happy to say I do own an original Johnnie Bess tea set, and it is quite magical. So
Oh, give thanks. How am I looking over here? I want to get off of this screen sharing. I'm still figuring this thing out.
oh, you have to go back to share screen, and I think there it
Gotcha.
is. Okay.
Here we are.
Well, I know we're kind of pressed for time, so I know a couple folks on here have a couple questions. Oh, hey, Alina. Alina Rodriguez has just joined us.
Good morning.
Hi, Alina.
If you guys have any questions, please raise your hand down in the kind of the panel section, or you could ask the question in the chat. But yeah, I guess for both of you guys, are there any quick tips on what makes a really, oh, right. And Amanda Bradley, shout out to Amanda Bradley, our Ellie's
Thanks,
guru.
Amanda.
She just sent a link in the chat. This is our FAQ. So if you guys wanted to link that, it kind of does a very, very standard FAQ of all you need to know. So yeah, so Juana and Johnnie, do you guys have any advice on how to make a very concise 300-word essay on what would get a jury to be excited? Yeah.
Yeah, I second what Johnnie said. I think connecting to your passion, like don't think about this, think about this and like what lights you up and what you're really excited about. I mean, I'm also, I'm a practicing artist. I have a studio practice as well. And I love artist books. And so for me, it's like a natural, just like for Johnnie, it's what you're working on, what you're passionate about. I think that's what you, so often I think as teachers, we have so much curriculum and all these things that, that is there and it's important, right? But I think really connecting to your passion, that's my biggest tip. Like,
Absolutely.
and same thing, Johnnie, I also like, it was like in my mind, like turning it over, but I sat down and I wrote that thing like in 2 days. I was like, and edited it and sent it in.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would second that. Just be audacious. Be audacious.
Yeah.
That idea that you think, hey, no, that's the one.
Totally.
That's the one. Absolutely.
Yeah,
just
100% agree.
Just be open. Come from the heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And honestly, don't overthink it again, because I don't have much experience. I have experience writing, professionally, other than any one of us in a day-to-day, professional, I guess, social or in the classroom. You get the point. Long story short, I've had educators, folks who that they have for years been in applying for different grants, things of that nature, and including the Ellies, and they were like, "Oh, you won that," and they put a lot of thought into it, and they're like, "Wow, okay." And again, being encouraged, I'm like, I'll just be audacious. I'll apply next year. And the Ellies, you all, they not only funded my project, but gave me more resources than I requested. So folks, I can't tell you enough, like these folks they want to be wind in your sails. Just open your sails out. Just go. Just be open your heart, flow, be audacious, that idea, and just get it on the page. Get it on the page.
I agree. And also those are the ideas that are going to connect to your students anyway. Like, your students, they can sense, you being genuine like a mile away. So if you're like, oh my God, look, they're going to love that. That passion is what I think the Ellies is looking for.
Hear that.
So, and I know Alina, I know you're on here, and I know her project was the same thing. Like it was something that she was personally passionate about. And so that made sense. Like it's hi. So yeah, I think that's 100%. And I'm happy to share my email if that's okay, Esther.
Oh yeah, please put it in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm happy to give, anybody that has like a quick paragraph that they like to read me. I totally will help, but
I
I
can
think
dig
just
that.
be as sincere
idea.
as possible.
Yeah, and also just for those that need a refresher, you could apply, like Johnny said, you could apply a million times. There is no application fee. Again, we want this to be very accessible. Dream big. Okay, you probably won't get a grant to go to Mars because that's probably not right now. But if you want to go to Antarctica and, like just go anywhere. And I know that people are asking about COVID restrictions. Obviously, we have flexibility on when you can travel. So again, there's no time limit in the sense of you must travel tomorrow. We have from the last batch up to October of 2022. So that's another year. And obviously we could extend that year as well. But yeah, no, I know Alina wants to go to the moon. I kind of want to go to the moon, but I don't know if $5,000 is going to get us to the moon.
Yeah, no.
I think we need a little more zeros. But yeah, I mean, again, just it is free. Please tell any teacher, your fellow teachers. We just want our art teachers. We are so indebted to our teachers. I mean, forever and a day, but this last 18 months, you guys are rock stars. I mean, the fact that not only are you what Johnny was saying on whether it's an art practice teacher that incorporates chemistry, that also incorporates metaphysics, and now you're a technologist. You guys are Zoom experts, maybe, but
slowly but surely.
Yeah, but you guys have been just such a rock to our children, our students. I mean, it's been a really crazy 18 months, and I think it's continuing to be crazy, but we really appreciate all of our teachers. And if this $5,000 can give you a reprieve to go somewhere and, connect, find yourself, we are all about it. So, Ania says the location I would like to go currently has travel restrictions. Do you think the juries would still yes, because again, it's not time limited. Maybe this time next year the travel restrictions will be uplifted. So yeah, so there, of course, you can definitely include. I know, for instance, like India, respects and blessings to that country. We had a winner in the past that wanted to travel to India. So we're hoping for a speedy kind of recovery with that beautiful country. But yeah, I mean, definitely include whatever places you want to go. We are very supportive, again, of the idea and the connection that you will bring back to your students. We are close to running out of time. Is there any other questions? If you guys, again, Juana, you can put your email in the chat. So if folks want to,
Yeah, I dropped it in. It's meneses.info, and anyone can, reach me. Like I said, I'm seriously so happy to read something over if you want, or any tips or whatever.
And I'll happily follow you up on that, Juana. That's a great idea.
All right. No, this is all access. This is great. And also info@theellies.org. That's very important. So if you guys have any more logistical questions on the grant, we're happy to answer that as well. Of course, this video will be on our YouTube. So once we're up, we will share the link to our past teacher applicants as well as our potential future applicants, but please do share. And again, very important, May 17th. That's all you need to know.
May 17th.
That's the date, May 17th. So if Johnny will probably submit his application on May 16th.
My heart.
We know, it's all good. It's all good. All right. Any last words from our amazing guest panelists today? No?
That's it. Good luck. Be outrageous and do something amazing. Good luck.
Yes,
Yeah.
all the best, everyone. All the best to you.
All right. Thank you guys for attending, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Peace, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.